As Morgan Elsbeth, Diana Lee Inosanto, the former Imperial leader who can supposedly reform the Empire, gets closer and closer to bringing him back, Ahsoka's third episode continues the reunion of Ahsoka Tano, Rosario Dawson, and Sabine Wren, Natasha Luborditso, featuring a collection of exciting Star Wars reveals. Tano and Wren return to their master-apprentice roles as they chase Elsbeth and her buddies in the wake of Ahsoka's two-part debut. As a result, they quickly find out the real deal about what the Night Sister of Dathomir has been building beyond the edge of what we can see. Ahsoka's third episode shows that Ahsoka has decided to keep going with Sabine's Jedi training. Meanwhile, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's Hera Syndulla is asking the New Republic's big boss Mon Mothma for help in stopping the next mess Thrawn would kick off if he came back from being MIA. It's cool that Obi-Wan Kenobi's Luke's training setup using the how much force you got against a training bot or Jedi while wearing a helmet with closed visors has a name, the Zatoichi. Taking cues from classic Chanbara flicks and westerns, Filoni is adding more to Star Wars lore in a not-so-subtle nod to his teacher. Zatoichi, the blind swordsman who has starred in 26 films, is a prime example of this. So, there's not much to peep in the training scene between Ahsoka and Sabine other than confirming what Huyang said that Sabine's force skills compared to other Jedi younglings are weaker, and Sabine's point that weapons she could handle because she's good as a Mandalorian, but the other stuff that she can't get. Everyone has some how much force you got in them, but not everyone can use it, as Ahsoka says. In a rare honest moment as a Jedi Master, she suggests taking baby steps by bringing the coffee cup a bit closer. This honesty shows more when she's talking to Huyang, admitting the Jedi messed up because of what happened during Order 66 and also giving Huyang a hard time for telling her she can't control the Force. Maybe Ahsoka's learned from her mistakes and is trying to be her own boss after chatting with Luke, the Book of Boba Fett. Hera has a meeting with the Senate of the New Republic led by Mon Mothma, Genevieve Riley, where she spills what went down at the docks of Corellia and the plan to bring back Grand Admiral Thrawn to head up another version of the Empire. This is the same base that showed up in Return of the Jedi. One senator thinks this is just another Hera trick to get New Republic cash to look harder for Ezra Bridger, who died like a hero next to Grand Admiral Thrawn, and the rest of the Senate's just sitting there, not buying that a few rebels would be enough to start a bad government. The big ol' space fish, who popped up briefly in Season 3 of The Mandalorian and will show up again in this episode, are the reason Thrawn and Ezra are MIA. As the meeting was a bust, Hera meets her human Twi'lek hybrid son Jacen, who's pumped that Aunt Sabine is learning to be a Jedi, as Chopper says. Jacen Jarrus is the son of Kanan Jarrus, also known as Caleb Dume, the head honcho of the Rebels family and Ezra Bridger's coach. Jacen wishes he could be a Jedi like his dad. While getting into the Dayneb system, Ahsoka and her crew drop out of space jump, and Hera says she tried to get more troops from the New Republic but no dice. 3 pilots led by Shin Hati and the mysterious Marek start shooting right away. Ahsoka and Sabine realize they're both out of practice when Sabine tries to use the tail gun, and they team up to take down the pilots. Huyang keeps telling them to get closer to the planet so he can scan the building that's hidden by it. As the ship gets near the space jump ring, Shaun's big gun, Morgan Elsbeth uses Shaun's big gun to hit the tail, hurting Huyang and leaving the ship floating aimlessly. In a spacesuit, Ahsoka steps out on the wing, lights up her lightsabers, and takes down one of the ships just as Sabine juices up the ship and fixes what she can. Sabine takes over and drives the ship through the planet while Ahsoka hops on. They run into the same big ol' space fish as they go through the fog. They land in the Dayneb system's woods and cut the juice to the ship to stay hidden, but not before Sabine shows off some slick moves dodging their huge bodies and tails. Ahsoka and Sabine, watching other ships fly over the woods, spot it by chance and start the ship. What they see is a huge space gate, and the last power source is getting set up as Huyang wakes up from his backup battery. Following the big ol' spacefish's predicted paths, these space gates could let ships jump to other galaxies right away. This isn't just cool to Ahsoka and Sabine but also a big deal for Star Wars lore. Baylan Skoll is also on that planet, and he tells his troops to check out the woods before the episode wraps up, so they can't chill yet. For Star Wars fans, Ahsoka is making good progress in terms of plot moving along, while trying to be easy for newbies, despite the same old complaints that it's not as exciting as it could be. The big ol' space fish might still be a lot, but hey, Star Wars is super deep, and Filoni really likes these weird concepts. The first part of the show hasn't been too bad.